Alright people, so welcome back to Based on a True Story. Of course, this is episode 4. In this episode, I'm gonna talk to you guys about good people. You know, so many people always have so many negative things to say. There's no good people in the world. You know, be careful who you trust, etc. And while all of those things are true, there are some good people in this world. So I'm going to talk to you about my experience with a really good, genuine person. So the year is 2015, right? Vagabond is punching. You know, we are now what you would consider a breakout artist within the Trinidad and Tobago circuit. We're going through the season and we enter Soca Monarch, get past the semi-finals, first time ever, and now we're into the finals. Now, if you follow the Soca Monarch in Trinidad and Tobago, you would understand that there's different categories. There's groovy, there is power, and then at that time they established what you would call the breakout artists. So that was sponsored by Carib. So I, given that Vagabond was my first major hit, fell into the category of the breakout artists. So you have to vote, you have to get people to call in and send text messages, whatever the case may be. I can't remember offhand, but you had to do that. There was a young lady by the name of Lynn that was just kind of frontline in this whole thing. She worked for Carib, of course. And anytime I met up with Lynn, it was always a good vibe, good energy. Now, I don't know Lynn from nowhere. I don't know her from anywhere at all. But when we met, it was always good energy. So she tells me a couple things that I need to do. Drue, this is what you need to do. You need to focus on this. You need to get people here. You need to do this. Let me know anything you need help with. We will make sure we can help as much as we can. I did everything that she said to do, but unfortunately, we didn't win. I believe Second Star had won at that time. So while she was happy for Second Star, she had picked up the phone and she called me and she said, you know, Rick, I'm really happy for Second Star, but you know, Vagabond was a really big song. There's no reason why you shouldn't have been up in the top runnings at that time. So she's like, you know, but I really believe in you and I really believe in your career. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm going to help you get something with Carib. We don't know what we're gonna do yet, but we'll figure it out. So I said, oh yeah? Cool, no problem. So the year comes, 2015 comes, it passes. 2016 hits now. And she calls me in the middle of the season. She says, hey, you know, remember I spoke to you last year about doing something with Carib? Well, I think now is the time. I want you to come into the office and let's have a meeting. So Lynn legit takes me into this Carib office. I meet the marketing manager, I meet this manager, I meet that manager. Again, Lynn and I have not spoken for over the whole year. But she just calls me up randomly and she just takes me into the office. She even takes me all the way up to the big man, the CEO. At the time he was there, so she introduces me to him and he shakes my hand and he goes, you know, Lynn has been speaking so highly of you and we're gonna make something happen. If Lynn says this is what it's supposed to be, then this is what it's supposed to be. So Lynn says, all right, you meet everybody, you don't worry anything else again. You let me deal with the rest. Go home, relax, and I will follow up with you when the time is right. So a couple months pass, I check in, and now I'm checking in on Lynn because beyond the fact that she was hooking me up with Carib to be an ambassador, she was also just a really cool person. Like the things that she was doing for me, I was just like, you know, nobody else was really doing at the time that I didn't know in my immediate circle. So a couple months pass, I call, she says, yeah, don't worry, I'm still working on it. I call again, just checking on her. And she's like, yeah, I see her at a couple events. She's, you know, she is happy. She's go-lucky. Everything is normal. And then one day, my mind just ran on her. And I'm like, I haven't heard from Lynn in a while. So I sent her a message. No response. And now at this time, the writers of Stamp Your Name had just finished writing. I had sent them the idea. I told them this is what I want to do. And they sent me back this idea. So the song is ready to go. My mind runs on Lynn again. And I'm like, something's not right. So I message her again. I don't get her. I message her again. I don't get her. Now, I'm shooting the video for Stamp Your Name. We're shooting in Bahamas. And we're finishing it up. And the song just has a different meaning for me. It has this energy. And boom. One day I pick up the phone and I actually message. I say, hey Lynn, just checking to see how things going. Also just checking to see what's going on with the ambassadorship. I know we spoke about a couple of things. And then blow, I get a message back. Hey, I'm sorry to let you know, but Lynn passed. And I'm like, wow, like how the hell? And it was tragic. It was tragic because she was such a good person, and it just came out of nowhere. It just like hit everybody left. So not only did it hit me left, but it hit the marketing manager, her boss, her friends. And I was about a week or maybe even a month to release and Stamp Your Name. And although I was not an ambassador for Carib at the time, I felt obligated to do something or say something, because she was batting for me, man. Like, she was pushing so hard for me that I had to do something. So as small as it was, we took Stamp Your Name and we dedicated that song to her. You know, so if you ever go and see the video, you'll see that the song, the video, everything was dedicated to her. And there's even a little video of her at the end, a clip of her in the video at the end. But I didn't end up becoming the ambassador that year because it was just so much. It was too much for everybody to deal with. I'm sure, you know, her boss was in a state. And then fast forward a year and a half later, I get a phone call from Carib. And they say, hey, we want to meet with you, man. We want to sit down and talk. So I sit down with Carib now and we're having a conversation. And this comes out of nowhere, because at the time they called, I wouldn't say I was having the best year, you know. So they called, they sat down, and it was almost fluid. It was like, hey, look, we want to sign you. This is the case. We want to do it for X amount of years. We're going to send you an offer, blah, 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 blah. That was the end of it. So I said, all right, cool. A month and a half to 2 months pass, and I'm signing a contract for Carib. And when I finished signing the contract, one of the big men in the office says, you know what, Rick? When you acknowledge and put this out, make sure you give thanks to Lynn. Because what Lynn would have done the year and a half before stayed with them, and they were like, we have to make this happen. So I never really got a chance to thank her, but I'm gonna thank her now. You know, I'm gonna thank her publicly. Lynn did amazing things to me, and she knew me from Adam. She didn't know me. We just met, and the energy just fell into place. And there's so many people out there like that, man. There's so many good people out there doing good things for people just because it's the right thing to do. So don't give up on people, man. Don't give up. There are great people out there. And now I'm an ambassador for Carib. For how long, I'm not going to tell you, but I'm the ambassador. And I want to say thank you to Carib, and I also want to say thank you to Lynn for making that happen for the eye. Much love. Episode 4, based on a true story. Alright?
When I'm not fetting, I'm homesick.